Today we are going to talk about these topics. Number 1. Solve your financial dilemmas. Number 2. Earn extra cash by taking part in surveys. Number 3. One-stop shopping now available at your local bank branch. Number 4. Saving for your future. Number 5. Bad credit personal loans. What are your options? Number 6. Living cheap. Number 1. No one likes to budget. It's a lot of work for little reward. But the secret of budgeting and personal financial management is simply to ensure that there's just enough money left over each month to pay your bills and maybe have a little fun. Many people do not budget, but it should be done to really help you get ahead. If you have made poor financial decisions over time, and it happens to the best of us, you may have allowed your bills to get out of control. This could come back to haunt you if you want a loan for a car or house or anything else you need to get a loan to buy. Here's what you need to make sure that you have control over your financial situation. Here are some valuable budgeting techniques to guide you in your expenses and income. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you pay for your utilities on time and in full every month. Don't wait until it's too late to pay them. The second thing you need to do is make sure that you don't have too many credit cards. Only a few credit cards are necessary to get by in life. You should consider cutting up the rest of them. And the third thing you should do, if your bills have gotten the best of you, is to consolidate them into a single loan. This will enable you to pay them off over time without getting slammed with high interest rates. Finally, establish a budget for yourself. This seems difficult, and that's why most people don't do it. And because people don't have a budget, they find themselves in financial straits. The easiest way to establish a budget is to draw a line down the middle of a piece of paper. On the left, write down your after-tax household income. Be sure to write down the after-tax amount, as you want to measure available income only. After all, you don't get to spend the before-tax amount, right? In the right column, list an average of each monthly bill. But you should also include your typical spending habits as well, like eating out or impulse shopping. Don't forget to include paying off your credit card as part of the bills. Now that you have a list of income and expenses, see if there's a way to increase your income or reduce your expenses. Usually you'll find a way to do a little to both. While it seems so simplistic, so few people do it. And yet, creating a budget and sticking to it often separates the successful people from everyone else. What's stopping you from doing it right now? Number 2. I have just heard about another way of making a little bit of extra money. This is by taking part in different surveys for a range of companies who are looking to find out more about their customers or potential customers. You may think, just like I did, that this would hardly be worth your time or effort. However, you may be surprised when you realize how much these companies are willing to pay. A few days ago, a friend of my stepdaughters came round to our house to play. They are both 12 years of age and have known each other since primary school. This friend also stopped at our house for her evening meal, and while at the dining table, eating her food, she started up quite an interesting conversation. She asked my stepdaughter if she would be interested in joining her to take part in a survey which would be about the subject of children's banking. I started to ask this girl, who is called Emma, what would be involved. Emma replied that a lady would be going round to her house on Saturday morning and would be asking her a series of questions about banking. For example, who she banks with and how much money she attempts to save as a 12-year-old. She continued that the meeting would last around an hour and a half, for which she would be paid. Number 3. In today's fast-paced culture, convenience is king. Consumers are becoming less satisfied with establishments that offer only one product or service, and one-stop shopping venues are gaining popularity for the time and effort they can save. The convenience trend has changed the face of many types of businesses, and financial services is no exception. In the past, customers visited local bank branches to cash checks and make deposits and were content with these limited services. Today, customers expect more from their banking relationship. They look to their local bank to help them effectively manage all of their financial activities. Banks of all sizes, from national institutions to community banks, now offer a wide array of financial services and products, including annuities, life insurance, and financial planning. Customers can obtain these services in the same convenient location where they have conducted everyday bank transactions for years. While most banks offer some type of financial planning and investment services, the scope of these programs varies greatly from one institution to the next. Customers should carefully examine their bank's offerings and determine whether they are receiving the level of assistance they require and deserve. Many institutions claim to be committed to empowering clients, but fail to actively reach out to customers and provide the support they need. In the U.S. retirement market, investors face a number of significant financial challenges. Rising healthcare costs, dwindling Social Security, and increased longevity mean that many people are in danger of running out of money in retirement. Furthermore, most Americans are not taking the necessary actions to ensure a secure financial future. Financial institutions should proactively engage their clients to make them aware of these risks and provide effective solutions. More than ever, financial advisors are choosing to set up practices in bank branches, and banks are recruiting experienced professionals. The expert advice and comprehensive services that today's customers demand are available in a growing number of banks. If your current financial institution doesn't provide what you're looking for, maybe it's time to find a new banking relationship that can meet all of your financial needs. Since 1985, Investment Centers of America, Inc. has been a leader in offering investment and insurance products through non-affiliated banks. Securities and insurance products offered through ICA and affiliated insurance agencies may lose value, carry no bank guarantee, and are not FDIC insured. Number 4. We all know that we should save money. But something so easy to say can be quite difficult to actually do. Saving money is the basis of building your financial future. However, many consumers are putting it off one more day. Those days turn quickly into years of lost money. Without savings, the chances of meeting long-term financial goals and achieving financial security are quite minuscule. In order to save money, you have to control your finances. Saving has nothing to do with how much you make. It has everything to do with how you control your money. If you have lots of credit card debt and live paycheck to paycheck, you are not in control of your money. And you aren't saving for the future either. You have to spend less and save more. The two are tied together. In order to save, you have to start spending less. And it all really isn't that difficult if you just start doing it. First, sit down and write down your financial goals. Just ask yourself what you want from your money. Perhaps you would like to have a down payment for your first home. Maybe you need a new car. Make long-term goals, such as retirement, and short-term goals, such as new living room furniture. Give each goal a dollar amount and a time frame. In order to save, you have to know what you are saving for. You have to have a reason to put your money aside. You will need to set up a separate savings account. You probably know that leaving the money in your checking simply won't work. You will spend it. Have a savings account that you can easily deposit or transfer money into. Many banks will set up an automatic withdrawal to your savings each month. This is an easy way to set it and forget it. It is paid just like any other bill. Over time, you will see your money start to grow. This is rewarding and exciting. Most people become motivated to save even more. Saving and investing can become addicting in a good way. You will find that a written budget is almost essential for saving money. You need to know where your money is going in order to make changes to the way you spend. A budget not only tells you where you are spending, but it can help you plan how you spend. Include into your budget a debt reduction plan, and your budget will make the most of your dollars. Budgeting is simple and doesn't require you to sacrifice your entire lifestyle. It is just a plan to get where you are going. If you do have a lot of credit card debt, you should focus spending your saving money on eliminating that debt. It would be wise to put a small amount aside for emergencies, but the vast majority of the money you are saving right now needs to be going to your debt. The reason why is simple. Why pay 20% interest on a credit card debt when your savings are earning 2% to 10% in interest? You are spending more than necessary. Wipe out that credit card debt first. It will save you more in the long run. A lot of people really boost their savings by putting their unexpected money into their savings accounts. Your bonuses, raises, tax refunds and overtime can really pump up your savings. You aren't having to spend even less or cut back more, but you are seeing your account balance rise. There is no real secret to saving money. You simply have to start doing it. That is often the hardest thing, the first step. But once you see your finances begin to change and the interests start working for you, you will be hooked on saving for your future. Number 5. Bad credit. Personal loans are readily available across the country even if you have experienced bad credit problems such as in bankruptcies, delinquencies, foreclosures, repossessions or other adverse credit problems. Bad credit personal loans are usually easy to qualify for and repayments can be flexible and even affordable. Bad credit personal loans are classified into two groups, secured and unsecured, with the intention to make it even easier to get the loan you need. Personal loans are to be used for personal needs, not for business-related needs, but other than that they do not have any specific requirements. Secured personal loans. Secured bad credit personal loans usually have lower monthly payments and will generally have lower rates of interest. If the value of the property that is used for collateral for the loan is more than your loan amount, then the interest rate can be very low. Lenders have much less risk since the loan will be secured by the customer's property, so they think it will be less likely the borrower will miss payments or default on the loan. Unsecured personal loans. An unsecured bad credit personal loan lender is one who provides lending without requiring any form of collateral. Unsecured personal loans can take less time to get the cash you need, but if you have bad credit it can be much more expensive due to high interest rates. Unsecured personal loans are readily available for both renters or homeowners. An unsecured loan requires no property ownership or collateral for approvals. Two things about bad credit personal loans are sure: the high rate of interest that will be charged on the loan, and the requirement of a down payment or collateral if you have a bad credit history. If used wisely, bad credit personal loans can be the first step for those in financial troubles to get back on their feet. Compare lenders today and see what type of bad credit personal loan is right for you. Number 6. Does living cheap mean being miserable, or giving up what you want? Not at all. In my own case, it meant getting the things I really wanted. Spend less on each thing or activity, and you can have more of them, right? The key is to spend less and still get what you need and want. I'll tell you how I managed it. Living cheap. Housing. The first house I owned was a mobile home on a small lot. I paid less than $20,000, and had payments of $257 per month. With taxes, insurance and repairs, it still cost less than rent. With 3 bedrooms, an expanded living room, and a nice fenced-in yard, it was very comfortable. Eventually I sold it for $45,000. Two things that I did made it even cheaper. First, I paid down the mortgage as much as I could when I was working. Within 5 years I owed nothing, and from that point on it cost an average of $300 per month to pay for the utilities, phone, garbage collection, taxes, insurance, and repairs. This is living cheap. It became even cheaper when I found that I could easily rent the other 2 bedrooms. I got $65 per week for one, and $75 or more per week for the other, and I included all utilities. I found decent young guys to rent to, and the rents added up to $600 per month, making this more than cheap living, and even better than free housing. I was making $300 per month and living for free. Living cheap. Think and plan with lower expenses. I could work less, so I could get by without a car. This saved even more money. And occasional bus fare, and the used bicycle I bought didn't add up to a fourth of what it cost to have a car. I needed to plan my trips around town a little better, but it was worth it. Until I was almost 40, I never paid more than $40 for a piece of furniture. You have to know what is important to you. I did pay $220 for a high-tech sleeping bag, because ultralight backpacking was important to me. On the other hand, since I couldn't tell the difference between a nice, clean used couch for $30 and one that cost $900, I bought the former. I found that when I worked less, I had time to more carefully consider my options. Time can save a lot of money. I paid half of what others paid for groceries, and when I did get a car, I found a repossessed one worth much more than what I paid. When I went to Ecuador for a month, it cost $1,040, including airfare, hotels, meals, a guided climb up a 21,000-foot mountain, everything. It was possible because I had time to search for the deals. I never cared much for jobs, and I worked only part-time for years. I played chess, wrote poetry, and read good books. I traveled several times a year. I met the love of my life in South America. This was all possible not because I made a lot of money, but because I spent less than I made, and used the difference for the things that mattered to me. This article isn't meant as a how-to guide. I explain how I traveled and bought things so cheaply in many other articles. This is simply to get you thinking about the possibilities, and to point out some principles. What are the principles? Find ways to pay less without getting less. Don't buy things you don't need. Spend a less time working and more time thinking. Stay out of debt. Finally, know what is truly important to you, because this is what you can have more of by living cheap.